Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about the new L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation. And this is just pretty much like a liquid foundation that when it sets, it kind of sets into like a powder form. So I think first I'm going to show you guys kind of how I apply it and the way it works and stuff like that. And then I'll tell you guys what I think. So to start off, I already primed my skin with Milk of Magnesia, and then I covered that up with the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. This just helps me stay matte. I just put it on my T-zone because I get really oily, especially right now that it's summer. So I use that under every foundation. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take the foundation, and it does recommend in the back to use with your hands. It says it's not recommended for use with a sponge or a brush. So I'm just going to use it with my fingers, but it just looks like that. And then I just kind of take it and I start dotting it on my face. And then I just blend it out with my hands. So then this is the first side, but I'm just going to finish the other side now. So that's pretty much it. I don't do anything else to my foundation. I just kind of leave it and it just kind of sets, and it has a really nice finish. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish my concealer and all that stuff. So as you guys can see, the foundation is really easy to blend out. You just kind of have to use your fingers. And when you're blending out the foundation with your hands, it has a very kind of thin, velvety feel to it. I think it has a really nice texture, but it is really thin and runny. But once you like blend it out and everything, like it's not streaky and it just looks really nice. And it also has SPF 18. The shade I have is, let me see if it'll show up, 320 Natural Beige. And that's what the back of the bottle looks like. The bottle I think is really cute, but let's get down to the foundation. The foundation works great. It sets into like a nice powdery finish, but it's not like where it looks like you just have a bunch of powder on your face. It's like a really nice kind of natural matte finish, but it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's really natural looking. Like I feel like it just looks like it's my skin, but better. And it is a really light coverage foundation, as you guys saw in the video. You can still sometimes, like if I get really red up here sometimes, and if it's one of those days, you can still see my red coming through. I like both full coverage and light coverage foundations, so I really like this, and I like that it's really lightweight. I don't feel like I have a bunch of makeup on my face, and I think it's a really good, just kind of like everyday foundation. So that's as far as the coverage goes. I definitely think if you're looking for anything with like medium coverage to full coverage, I don't recommend this because it's just light coverage, and it is buildable. I don't know if you guys saw in one of the, when I was putting it on, I went back on my cheek and I applied a little more. So you could build it up as long as you're still working with it while it's not completely set. Because I feel like once it's set, if you try to add more, it's just going to move all the product around. So I would do it, you know, while it's still a little bit wet, but you can build it up a little bit. As far as the way it wears, this thing stays on all day long. And by all day, I mean like a good 8-hour work day. It just stays on all day. I've been wearing it ever since I bought it, like every day. And it just stays on all day, and it doesn't break up because I do have oily skin. That's why, as you guys saw in the demo, I have to apply Milk of Magnesia and a primer because it keeps me matte with all my foundations, including this one. In case you're curious about the Milk of Magnesia and the primer that I used, I do have a tutorial using that and talking more about it if you guys want to watch it, just to like how to stay matte all day with any foundation. So I'll link that in the description box and somewhere in the video. I did try this one without any primer or anything, just like on my bare skin, and I did get really oily, but that's just because I have an oily T-zone, you know. But the thing I liked about that day that I got super oily is that the foundation didn't start to break up and look blotchy. Like it just, I looked oily, but my foundation was still there and it was still intact. It wasn't like melting off or looking blotchy, so I really like that. But I do like it 100 times better with the primer and everything that I use under it, because it just helps me stay matte, and I will stay matte with it all day long, except for like, you know, towards the end of the night I can start seeing a little bit of shininess around my nose because that's where I'm crazy oily. But that's fine with me, you know, because I'll be matte all day long. And I've been getting a lot of compliments ever since I started using this. on my vlog channel. You guys tell me that you like the way my skin looks. And it's this foundation. I really like it. I think it's definitely worth a try. I bought mine at Target and I think it cost me, I think it was $10.99. And I think it's worth a shot. But just remember that it is lightweight. And if you do have oily skin and you don't use anything to control your oils, this is gonna like be oily, because I don't know, I feel like it's really thin, so the oil comes through it really, really fast, you know, like from your skin. So there's that. Oh, and one other thing, I always forget to mention this in foundation videos, but this doesn't oxidize on my skin. I've never really had a problem with like foundations changing colors on me or oxidizing or anything, or them breaking me out. So I didn't have any problems with that. Hasn't broken me out, didn't oxidize. But what it surprised me was the way that it wore, because it's such a light, thin, kind of runny formula that you're like, oh, this is not gonna last. But it stays on all day, and I don't have to set it, I don't have to touch it up, I don't have to worry about it. All I do is just put it on and it's good to go. And I love that because it cuts out the step of having to set like my foundation. So I really like it. I think it's definitely worth a shot, especially for the summer, because it gets really hot, so something lightweight is good. So I really like it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, other than that if you do have oily skin, like I recommend using a primer or something that'll keep you matte under the foundation. But I think that's all I can think of. It's really easy to blend. I'm trying to see if I'm like forgetting anything. I don't think so. It's really easy to blend. I think I've covered everything. If I forgot to mention something, or if you guys have any more questions, please leave it in the comments. I do always answer all of your comments, like all of your comments and questions and everything, I answer them. So if you have any questions, just let me know. If you're curious about the shade, I do have a foundation shade page on my blog, which I'll link to somewhere in the video and in the description box, so you guys can check out all my foundations, because these kind of run, I feel like the colors on these run a little dark. So I went with the 320 Natural Beige, but yeah, like I feel like once they set, they get like a hair darker. But this is like perfect for me, the shade. So I'm going to go ahead and post what other foundations I use, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what my shade is and stuff like that, in case you're curious, or if you have like a similar skin tone to mine. Again, any questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful and that I didn't forget to mention anything you guys wanted to know. And I'll talk to you guys later.